In this video, I'm going to go through the STL AmpHub program. It's a VST plugin for your DAW. So when you open it up, this is first thing that pops up is the Ignite amps. Click on this right in the middle, and you get a whole list of available amps. You got what looks like everything from a JMP 800 and Plexi Marshall to a like Mesa rectifier, probably an Ingle Powerball, 5153. You have an orange amp in here, 2 Ignites. This is probably a Soldano, I'm guessing, and a Vox 30 combo amp. Yeah, so it's pretty well laid out. You've got a tuner and stomp boxes. Just click one of these and bring it up, which you got a couple EQs, a bunch of overdrives, boost. I mean, everything from like Fortin to Boss. There's even a Rat down here, and an Earthquaker device. Looks like a Plumes, I think. It's a pretty decent overdrive. You've got your speaker selection. So this is nice. This is actually a more intuitive layout than Amplitude, which I have. 2 speakers you can blend left and right up here. Cut or boost the decibels. You've got a low pass and a high pass filter. The angle of the microphone, you can see this little purple mark represents the tip of the microphone and the distance from the speaker. So that's a pretty cool option. Up here you got a whole list of different speakers. Each one has a list of either dynamic, ribbon, I think dynamic and ribbon is all that's available, but there's quite a good selection of each one. Everything from like 441s, 421s, 57s. I don't believe I saw a 58, which isn't really necessary. I mean, that's like a dynamic vocal microphone. But personally, I like using those for recording like heavier guitar. So yeah, the ones that I chose to do this, I'm not going through every single amp. This would be an hour-long video. So I think I used the 800, the 5150, both of the Ignite amps. Both of those sound pretty good with an HM-2 and the orange amp, which I think that's probably my favorite out of all of these for using an HM-2. And interestingly enough, I don't know if it was just the way that I had the amp sims set, running a Boss HM-2, like an actual physical pedal, into my Focusrite interface didn't, in most cases, there's like a few exceptions, but most of the time, the actual HM-2 plugin sounded the best. So that's something to keep in mind. Like I said, it could just be the way that I had the amps set. So who knows? Maybe I can mess with that later. And you have a whole effects bank here too, modulation. And actually, this parametric EQ I don't think comes up in the stomp box section. So this is pretty cool. You can adjust the Q and the frequencies. So yeah, there's plenty of options to stack pedals too. I mean, Rat and an HM-2, if you were to run that into a clean amp. This is like a Fortin 33. A Boss OD1. TS9. Is that probably an MXR, I guess? Yeah, that's that's not a Dunwich pedal. Don't be fooled. Got a compressor, SD1. Yeah, a couple EQ pedals also, max on if the TS9 wasn't enough. They're basically, actually, both of those and the SD1 are more or less identical. There are differences, but pretty much the same thing. Oh, this is cool. I just noticed that. This looks like the, what, TC preamp? Yeah, TC Electronics preamp. That's pretty cool. Yeah, basically if you run that and the Fortin together, that's like Pepper's Dirty Tree right there. So we'll get on with the video. So the first amp we're going to check out is the Ignite Amps Emissary. I've got it set on the lead channel. This amp's pretty cool. It's got a low and a high mid control, which it's split, which is pretty cool. So this is the sound of the amp standalone. All right, gauge the HM-2. So it sounds pretty good. Let's check that out with an actual HM2, Boss HM2 right here, which is also made in Japan. All right, now for what I think is probably my favorite amp on this, and that's the orange. So we'll take a listen to that. All right, now with the VST HM2 engaged. Yeah, I like that one. It's got good grit to it. So here's the Boss HM2 through that same amp sim, the orange. Marshall now. This is an 800 type model. I don't know, this one makes me think of like later Dismember albums. So that's the 800 just by itself. Now here's with the HM2 VST engaged. like that one a lot like the orange. It's just got a really nasty bite to it. So here's with the Boss HM-2 Engage. So the next amp we're going to take a look at is another Ignite amp, the NRRX. So here's that amp by itself. All right, and if we engage the VST HM2. Now let's compare that to a Boss HM2. So we got the 5153 model up next. So here's the amp by itself. I'm on channel 2, the blue channel. So we'll engage the VST HM2. That sounds pretty good. Now let's compare that to a Boss HM2. So back to the VST.